please don't take anything I say too serious. I'm just messing around. This video should not be viewed by anyone.
Bunkers are going to change forever in SCUM, for the better I would say, because later down the line they are going to be split into abandoned bunkers and operational ones. Now we already have the beginning stages of abandoned bunkers in the game. We can see that some of them are starting to be taken over by Mother Nature. But when it comes to these new destroyed or abandoned bunkers, we have a little bit of concept art and we also have some information on them. And it says here that the abandoned bunkers will be the source of many mysteries and loot just waiting to be found. Now do please let me know down below what you guys think that these mysteries mean. I for one think that at these abandoned or destroyed bunkers we will find some of the new enemy AI that we have been teased with a while back. The Wild Hunters, the Sketchy Queen, or Mr. Brenner. We've seen a bunch of these sneak peeks or ideas for new enemies, so here's hoping that they will make their way into the game at some point. Now when it comes to the active bunkers, they will still be controlled by Tech 1, so I'm guessing that they will remain like they are right now in the game. Maybe the only thing that will be different is the mechs, because we have seen that they are working on new models for them. But yeah, I for one think that this is a great idea. Having bunkers be controlled or protected by different types of enemies will greatly improve our overall gameplay. Do please let me know down below what you guys think of this idea. Do you like it or do you not like it? But yeah, there you go. That is about it for SCUM today. Thank you so much for taking the time and hanging out. I hope you have enjoyed. In case you did, be sure to drop some stuff and things down below. Make sure to subscribe, and now
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, what's going on, guys? 10:37 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, sunny South Florida, 80 degrees outside. It's nice and freaking warm, but I'm staying indoors today. So listen, we got a couple of things to talk about, but there's something that we're going to actually try and do today. I started working on this last night, and it was, let's just say that I got to like 90% completed, and then it failed. Then something went wrong, and I'll tell you about that in a second. But today I'm doing it over by having, and I'll explain how I'm going to redo it, and I'm going to do it while I'm on stream, because otherwise I would have been offline for another 2 hours or so. So I figured I'll do it here. Let me say good morning to Brink. What's going on, big guy? Good to see you, man. So we've got a couple of things, and then listen, we're going to use ChatGPT-4, try to finish my code or create my code, and for a database program that I wanted to use. And you're going to laugh at what the database program is, but it's okay. It is what it is. But I also want to talk about something that has been on my mind recently, and we'll get into this a little bit later, but recently I've been seeing a lot of SCUM development. Like I haven't looked at the, I kind of disconnected from SCUM for a bit. SCUM is the survival genre game, and I haven't looked at anything in regards to it too much. Like I kind of see it pass by on YouTube, but I haven't gone to Twitter and look at Tommy's post or anything like that to see the new developments or what's coming out. And for the most part, in the past, I've always seen like one or two things come out. Last year it was like always there was like one thing that he would showcase, and then a picture of something else that they're working on. And it wasn't like a big amount of things that was coming out or that they were showcasing. But ever since, I'm going to say probably in the past month or two, there's been a lot more development, and you see it in the Twitter feed. And I want to talk about that because I don't know if we should talk about this later or now, but maybe we'll start it and we'll go over it later. I want to talk about it because of the fact that when I look at his Twitter feed now, there is so much being developed and so many images and so many new things being put out that it makes you wonder. And I'm just going to put this in the back of your head. Are they using AI generated code now too? And because does increase productivity, and I'm going to show you how easy it works. And so I'm wondering that. What's going on, guys? Good to see you. So we'll talk about that in a bit, but let's do the ChatGPT first, and it kind of rolls into the same thing. I'm going to bring my screen down here. Okay, so this is kind of what I'm doing. So let's go here, and I'm going to explain everything. And don't worry, I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up on the big screen in a second. So let's start off with. Let me just go to chat here. So this is going to be kind of like an informational conversation kind of stream. Let's go with chat. Okay, I think actually we're going to go to desktop instead. It's so much better because we're going to work on smaller stuff here. Okay. So we'll look at the ChatGPT in a moment, but let's focus on this area first. By the way, I don't think I need these, but I'm gonna close these out. Say no to that. I don't even know what that is. I'm gonna close that out. Okay, good. All right. So let me explain what's going on here. Yesterday, I was looking at some files, and it was some files that I've been trying to work on, some prompts. Oh, sorry. Hey, Solar, what's going on? Good to see you, man. I know a lot of devs are using AI, seeing a lot of AI stuff in portfolios lately. Material designers for sure are using AI to speed up workflow. I definitely think they are. And we're going to go over just a simple database program, but I'll tell you what it was that I was doing here. And I'm trying to bring up the prompt information because this will actually help. So I had a list of prompts that was scattered through. I'm talking about, like, I got this huge raw data dump. This is what it looks like. Okay. It was like, it's just goes on and goes on and goes on. All right. It's almost like 1,500 different freaking prompts. Okay. And I'm like, there's no way that I'm going to go through this one by one and kind of like edit them, because they're very simple prompts, by the way. They're very generic. And I looked at this. Good morning, Winters. Good to see you. And I looked at this and I'm like, there's no way I'm going to go through this. So what I did was I actually ran a different program, a different Python program that allowed me to then take that information and separate it. And I'll show you that piece. Sorry, I've got so many windows open here. So we're going to go to the documents. Yeah, and I'll bring that up. And so I basically was able to take all that information through a Python script that I actually deleted. Well, I didn't delete the script, but I deleted the ChatGPT chat because I had to reset them. And I had them just put it all in basically a comma delimited standpoint here or status, and I put it into Excel. So now each one was separated by record. Now this took freaking seconds. In fact, let me show you a video of how fast this was, because I did record this. What's going on, guys? So I was trying to separate all of this data. I've got a text file that has over 1,000 different generic prompts for using a Midjourney. They need to be altered a little bit. They need to be enhanced. They're just basic generic prompts, which will give you an image, but they could be so much better. So instead of going through each one of these and kind of separating them one by one, because they are numbered on here, they're just all together. This would take me forever to do. So instead, I used our friend ChatGPT to actually ask it to create a Python script for me that would allow me to sort this information that I can then put into a database, and then I can query any way I want and manipulate it later on, which is something I'm going to do on the second video. But for this one, who's that beautiful voice guy? I don't know. This made it for me. I mean, ChatGPT is just amazing, especially 4. So check this out. So this is all. So watch this. This is a big file of just. So I'm gonna lower me down. But basically, keep an eye. This is all that same data I was just showing you, and I needed to separate it. So going through this would take me freaking like hours, if not days. All right. So we ended up copying all of that stuff and putting that into the actual script. Now you don't need to read the script, but the script basically just says, take this text file, look at the pattern. This is the pattern we're going with, which it found the pattern, and then extracted based on that pattern, separated in lines, and give me the output in this type of format. That's basically what it says. So we're gonna go ahead and run this in a second, because I'm just kind of like setting it up, and you guys don't need to hear me say that. So I'm explaining it, blah, 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 blah. It's showing the rest of it, see how long it is, because the whole entire thing is there. It's not a word wrap or anything. It's just all in there. And I know it's there because it starts with a quote and ends with a quote. And if it wasn't green, that means it doesn't have the ending quote. So therefore, I know it's there. So it's all good to go. So I want you to see how fast this does this. I'm taking longer setting it up and talking about it than the actual function. I'm just saying. I don't know why I was explaining this so long. This is probably the reason why I'm not putting this video up until I edit. I didn't edit this. I was just like blabbing while I was doing this. Hey, I had nobody to talk to yesterday. I didn't stream. So I had a lot of words to use up yesterday. Okay, here we go. Come on. Stop talking, Nord. Let's go. I'm watching my own video. Make the screen a little bit bigger. Okay, perfect. Go, go, go. Get it done. And let's run it. Perfect. Look at this. I love computer programming. I love how it makes everything so much easier. There it goes. So perfect. So it took everything like I said, and I just wanted to show you that quick video, and yeah, really quick. And then I went ahead and imported it into Excel like I showed you here. But then I had to go a step further, and I'm giving you the setup first so you know what we're doing. And then I had to go a step further, and I made a SQL database here. 2 tables, really simple: information and terms. And so now, if I were to say, all right, so let's go to select all. I know you can't read this; it's really tiny. Just trust me. I'll just tell you what's there. Select all information. Oh, sorry. Select all from information. I can't type today. From information, which is the name of the database, right? Okay, perfect. That should work. Go ahead and do this, and there it is. So now in this table, database table, I have all that Excel. So it's all in here. All 1,500 records or 1,497, whatever it is. So the other thing I did, I didn't record this one, but I'm just going to tell you, is I actually went through and let's go to documents. Yes. I went through and grabbed every single word. I counted every single word that was used in that data. And I counted how many times it was used. I listed the number. Can I make this bigger? Yeah. And I also put what kind of part of speech it was. I got rid of words like a, in, the, and, you know, things like that. But I went through and then numbered it just to see what words were used, what were adjectives, what were nouns, what was verbs. This is going to be part 2 later on, what I'm going to do with this. But it basically just went through getting every single word that was in there and put it into an Excel spreadsheet, which then I put into, don't save, I then put into a terms table, which, like I said, this is for part 2. We're not going to be doing anything with this today, but it is part of it. So, all right, so I did that. So all the information is there. Those are the 2 tables I'm working with, right? Perfect. Now, what I did was I said I basically needed a Python interface. We did that. Here's the interface there. We're going to run it. It's giving me errors now because, like I said, I got 80 to 90% complete, or I said 85 to 90. And then it screwed me up. And I'll tell you why it screwed me up. And then it started changing things and it just no longer worked. And I'm like, screw it. I have to start over tomorrow. And it was looking good. I wish I would have recorded it. Anyways, so basically I have a Python file. This is your main program file. It's the app file. And it's going through and to give you, I'm going to explain what it does, but I'm just going to tell you the 4 files we have first. Then we have an HTML file. Okay, an HTML file works off of a CSS style page as well as a JavaScript script page, which are these following ones here. And so there's the basic CSS style page, and then here is the JavaScript, which uses, I believe, Ajax also. And there it is. Okay, so those are the 4 scripts that I have. Now, what I had to do today, I'm actually following. Yeah, you'll be watching. You'll be understanding what I'm saying. This is what's good. This is not that complicated. So what I had to do today was I restarted the whole project, but without rewriting the code yet. I had a problem with this long conversation that I was having. Is this the one? Yes. Is this the one? No, this is not the one. It's this one. Because this was my conversation from last night, and I'm just going to scroll through. We're not going to really read this one because this is already going to be out of date. Basically, I went through the whole conversation of what it is that I wanted it to do, and I said, give me the pieces of code, and it started giving it to me. But in the end, it failed because I did not realize that last night I was using ChatGPT 3.5, not 4. And therefore, it is not as smart as the current version because it doesn't always remember everything that you're working on. And so one of the things that would happen is that whenever I would say, hey, man, I have an error, like, I don't know, there's a couple of errors here. I have an error over here that's happening. Let's fix that. Or I'll say, hey, man, the search button is not working. This is not refreshing. It's like, no problem. Let's take a look. Let's do this. And then I would go and do that. But it wouldn't take into account the other files that also had data that had to do with that. And so therefore, it kept making me change things and not change the others. So I started feeding it the code and saying, hey, these are the code files. This is that file. Can you make this one work with the other one you gave me? Sure. But it seemed to keep working individually and changing it. And it even knew, and I'm just scrolling through this because this is not important. All right. And it even knew that I had tables that I created with them. It had table names, database table names. It had column names. It knew the columns. And all of a sudden, it was creating a non-existent column in one of my tables. In fact, it got to the point that it stopped working, and I got something along the lines of this because of the fact that it wiped one of my columns. And I was like, what the f are you doing? So I ended up having to recreate my tables. And I said, you know what? Screw you, 3.5. We're moving on. We're going to start fresh. So that's what we did. So I got a little bit of heads up, like I got a starting point. So that way we didn't have to sit here and do this very beginning. But what I said, and just so you guys can see this, is I went ahead and told ChatGPT, like I told him about the table because I wanted it to understand. And this is, by the way, ChatGPT-4. I said, I want you to create this database table. And the reason why I started from this, even though I had already recreated my tables, I had already populated, imported all the data in, I wanted it to know the name of the table. I wanted it to know the columns that were involved, the data types, as well as the length of the data types and so forth. Now, I will say this. When generating this, it actually was generating it with a different data type than the previous 3.5 ChatGPT. The original table was generated with a char. This, which is character, this is now using varchar, which is a little bit different. It is different. It's a different data type. I'm not going to explain how it's different. It's just different. And so the code looks at it differently and deals with it differently. You can't just use whatever data type you want and then not let your code understand which data type is being used. So that, of course, is going to be a problem. But it's okay. They'll handle it. So anyway, so I went ahead and created, I said, all right, great. And I told it, great, remember the database table as information. We will be building a web interface that uses it. Obviously, I already have the stuff. I just needed to start working with me. Just saying, Nor data analytics and data science pays really well now. You might be good at it. I used to be. This is what I did. I analyzed code. Ask Super, he knows. All right, so we go through here, and then he says, sure, I can help you with that. And then it says, since you're building a web interface, and it tells me you might want to get started by choosing which programming language. Now, obviously, it didn't know yet that I had the files already done, and I'm going to get to that. So he says, all right, whatever. But when you're ready to make your choice, let me know, and I'll be ready to help you out. I'm paraphrasing. So I said, yes, we will be doing that. But right now, I need to create another database table because I still wanted it to understand all the tables that we were making. We already had them. I just wanted them to know. So I went ahead, added the terms one. He went ahead and said, yeah, this is how you create it. This is what it's going to have. This is what it is. I'm like, perfect. This guy understands. So here's where we start. So down here at the bottom, I started and I said to them, because they are them. I said, I'm creating a web interface using Python, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. The app uses, by the way, this only runs local. This is only for me. The app uses the information in terms of database tables, which we just created. So I'm letting them know, these are the tables we just created. The app displays the type and detail columns of the information database table in a table view, allows the user to filter by type through a drop-down list with an optional combination of searching for a matched word in the detail column. The table view results, the table view results records can each be edited. I can't even read my own stuff. Can each be edited and changed and changes can be saved to the database table. The words are right in front of me. Why don't I just read them? And the edit can be canceled and return the table view results to their default state. I'm going to submit my current code files to you one at a time for you to review them and get up to speed on where the project is. There are 4 files in total, and I explained the interface PY, the index HTML, the style.css, and the script.js. All right, the 4 files I just told you about. And then I say, this is the first file, and I named the file. This is what it is. And I went ahead and imported everything. So I went ahead and copied my entire thing, and I send it to them. So this is what it does. It says, your interface, and I'm not going to read everything, but it basically looks and it says, you have a solid start for a Flask application, and blah, blah, blah. And it tells me, and then it says, I have a few suggestions to improve your code. And this is where the magic starts. And so it tells me a couple of things. It says whatever, but then it says, here's your updated version of it. So great. Thank you. I looked at it. I copied it. I kind of reviewed it. I'm like, it makes sense. I hate that I can't make this bigger, by the way. The code thing, you have to actually copy it and put it somewhere else to view. And then I said, this is great. So I grabbed that and I put that in here. And, you know, I'm not going to make you guys read this, but we'll probably have to go back and forth. But the beauty is that it went ahead and gave it to me. I understand what it gave me. And then at the bottom, it says, once you've provided the other, this is the best part. Once you've provided the other 3 files, and look, it says the 3 files remaining. Nice. I can review them and suggest improvements or changes based on your requirements. So perfect. I say now, this is the second file, the index.html. And I went ahead and pasted that. I haven't read its answer yet. So this is what we have. This is where we're at. So it says the index file looks well structured and it serves as the main template for your web interface. It includes a filter form, table to display records, and edit controls for each now. I have a couple suggestions. Perfect. That's what I want. And it says here, move the inline JavaScript in the head section to your JavaScript file to keep your HTML clean and separate from JavaScript. Fine. In the table rows, it appears that you are using row 0 for the type column, which is incorrect. You should use row 1 for type and row 2 for detail. That is correct. And the reason we were doing that is because we removed row 0 before. And so we moved them over. So that is correct. So here's an updated index file. So now I'm going to take this and I can look through it and I understand that it basically, yeah, I can understand it. It's like link. This is the style sheet. This here is the script scores for the JavaScript. We all know HTML is pretty simple. It's got a head. It's got a body. The body has some divs. It's got the form. From here to here is the form. That's what I have at the top. It's going to go suggestion panel. And then at the bottom, it has my table, which I'm using a table view. So there's a table headers, table rows, little table headers for the rows. And then in the end here, it also has some buttons that I put at the end. So there's an editable button and a cancel and save button. Perfect. So and then it closes the body, closes the table, closes the body, closes the HTML. It's a very simple format. By the way, if you don't know HTML and you want to learn, just drop me a conversation in Discord and I'll be happy to have that with you. It's not that difficult once you know the structure and then you start learning new tags. HTML is probably one of the easiest and best ways to start doing any coding. Okay, so I'm going to copy that and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go to my index and I'm going to go ahead and copy the entire thing. So I'm going to get rid of all my code and I'm just going to paste that in there. Now, most people will think you're pasting that blindly. I'm not. Obviously, I've read through it. I know what's in there. For the most part, it looks correct. Am I going line by line right now? No, I'm kind of eyeballing it and knowing the elements that should be there. Now, here's what's interesting. I watched a video of this guy that was doing this. He's an AI guy he's a YouTuber, AI YouTuber, and I get a lot of great information from him. I think his last name is Wolf. I think it's Matt Wolf. And I think it was with an E at the end. So he was doing it with no coding experience whatsoever, and he actually created a 2D platform game. And he says, I have no idea about code, and he kept asking it, can you tell me where I'm supposed to put this? Exactly. And it would tell him. And he literally created a game. It took him probably, I mean, obviously he like edited, but I think it took him anywhere between like 4 to 8 hours, and he created a game. It's crazy. So you don't have to have code knowledge to do this, but it helps because then you understand where things go. All right, so we got that done. So that's in there. Let me read the bottom of this because it always gives a little bit. Now that I've reviewed the index, please provide the style.css and the script.js files, and I can give you feedback on those as well. Perfect. See, this is what I love about ChatGPT-4, is that it remembers the conversation and everything that you're writing, so that it uses it as you're continuing the conversation. This is literally like sitting with a computer programmer and telling them exactly what I want to build, and it is building it for me. And then I can go back and forth and say, okay, I like this, but I don't like that. This isn't working. Let's look at this. These are the files, whatever. And it's great. It honestly is like working with a team. So a really knowledgeable team. So that's the important, like 3.5 didn't do this. 3.5, I told him, I'm going to submit all the files to you so you can review it. And every time I submitted one, he goes, oh yeah, this is what you got to change, whatever. And then I submit, oh yeah, this is what you got to change. But it all be different. They were not connected. And it never asked me, okay, give me the rest of the files so that I can make sure that what we're doing is correct and I can update later. No, ChatGPT-4 is doing that. I love you, baby. I love you. Do not, that's just, I shouldn't have said that. I don't have a love affair with ChatGPT-4. I'm just saying. All right, so let's give it the it needs the style. So we're gonna go here. We're gonna grab this style, and we'll grab all of this, which is very simple. This one probably doesn't need to be changed. I'm hoping no, but okay. Looking great. I like to make them feel good. This is the, and then we'll put it in style.css file. Okay, and now we'll drop it in there, put it right in, and then let it go. And let's see what it says. Man falls in love with AI, film at 11. There's a movie by that called Her, Joaquin Phoenix and Scarlett Johansson. Okay, so the style CSS file you provided has a clean and straightforward design. It includes basic styles for the table, form, and editable fields. I don't see any issues or required changes in the provided CSS file. Better not, because I know my CSS, damn it. That's a very simple CSS, by the way. Your styles are simple, thanks, and should be sufficient for a basic web interface. If you wanted to improve the visual appearance further or add responsiveness for various screen sizes, you may consider using CSS framework like Bootstrap and Bulma. I don't really care about this. This is for me. However, it is not required, and the current style should work for your intended purposes. What's up, Super? What's going on, man? Now that I've reviewed your style CSS, please provide the script.js JavaScript file, and I can give you feedback on that as well. All right, here it is. So it's asking me for the last piece, and I love that it remembered. And so I'm going to go ahead and grab this. I'm going to copy all, and I'm going to say copy. What's going on, Zupa? All right, so now we're going to go ahead and put this in here. I'm like, awesome, period. This is the what is it called? Oh, the script.js file. All right, we'll do this. We'll do this. We'll send it. So that's the last part. Oh, you sent me crack? I thought I saw something pop up. Oh man, thanks for the gift, man. Awesome, brother. I'll have to install that. Thank you very much, Super. Super coming in with the gifts because he knows I can't buy any games this year. I'm not buying any more games this year. So all right, I'm going to read this in a second. I'm letting it do its work. You a-holes and your rim worlds and your stupid skill tree simulator games. It will kick Nord's butt and he'll rage quit, but it will be fun to watch. Thanks, man. Perfect content for me. I love to rage quit games. Okay, it's still doing its stuff. I'm going to start at the top and start reading what it says here. Here we go, because it's going to work on it for a bit. It's still working, so that's good. So the script JavaScript file you provided handles the functionality for editing records and the search input autocomplete. Overall, the code looks well structured and functional. Thank you. I didn't write it. I have a few suggestions to improve the code. Here we go. As mentioned before, move the inline JavaScript event listener from index to this file. Okay, fine. So look at it. Okay, so let me point that out. You guys don't understand how important this is. This piece right here that it says, as mentioned before, that is such an amazing thing, because that's like talking to a real person that has a brain that's paying attention to what you're saying. When you're sitting in a conference room with another worker, you know, another person working on your project, a coworker, and you are working on something together and you've been working for hours, you hope that that person remembers what we've been working on, because it makes the, hey, remember, hey, don't forget we got to do this. Whoa, we don't talk about that. Huh? Okay, you're not the person that should be in this room. But most of the time you're working with someone that you go back and forth about, like, okay, don't forget the part that we did on that first section, we need to redo that in this section. Like, yep, that's right. I got the notes here. Perfect. Let's go ahead and do that. You see, that's how you work. That's the way this is working. It remembered, as mentioned before. That's huge, man. No, you didn't give Star Citizen. I'm waiting to see if Star Citizen gets gifted. You never know. We'll see. Or the expense account gets a little bit bigger. All right, here we go. So as mentioned, no. Okay, fine. And then it says to use something called encode URI component to encode the data sent in the XR. Okay, perfect. I'm not going to go through the Java lingo, but basically it's telling me that I'm going to do some stuff. But what's great is that it says this ensures that any special characters in type and detail fields are properly encoded. It can actually teach you C++, and we'll do that as an example in a moment. All right, so here we go. So now it's giving me the updated script, and I'm just going to kind of glance through this. It has changed from the current one that I have, but I'm going to trust the process because I've had it change all of my code. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this code, and I am copying blindly. Hold on one second. Let me make sure. Here's the updated script. So it's taking everything. I have how many constructs here? I have 3. Yep, I got that. Okay. So it's hey, you know what? It stopped working before. I'm gonna go ahead and copy the code. I'm gonna go ahead in here and I'm gonna listen. So we're gonna do this. I'm gonna trust the process. Okay, we're trusting the process. Wait a second. Z. We're not trusting the process because we are going to actually, oh, really smart. It didn't have to write all the extra stuff. Look at this. Very important to look. Here it says existing code. Okay, so we're going to have to just copy and paste certain things. So this isn't a blind copy. I feel like a freshman in grad classes right now. Nice. Hey, I'll give you an A at the end if you stay the whole time. An A for awesome. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to have to put this side by side. Let's go ahead and do that. And we're going to edit something. So it says records, documents, query records. Okay, that's fine. Existing code. Let me just make sure this is all the same. It looks all the same. Right? Yeah. Okay, so then the existing code, then it goes down to, I have to find all these spots, by the way. Hold on. Existing code. Save button goes here. There's an edit button. There's a cancel button. There's a save button listener here with the existing code. And at the end of it, here it is right here. That's what we want to change. Let me double check. The add events listener is right here. There's the click. Correct. Random parameters. Opens the function there. And now we are going to change the send. And we're changing the send to be this one. And I hate that I can't see the rest of this code unless I do this. And that's okay. So we're going to do this instead. I just want to make sure I got all of it. Okay. We're going to copy that. They really need to let me make this screen bigger. Okay. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to put it into the send, which is this whole line here. I'm going to do this. Okay. There it is. So that's completed. Now we're going to go to the next part. That's this area here. And so we're going to look at this. No, this is the script. This is the JavaScript. Yes. What's up, Vox? Good morning, man. So, all right. So now we have to make sure that this is all correct. Yes, this is the same thing. Right. And then we'll go into the search, add event listener. There it is there. The input's correct. The existing codes. It says that's okay. Don't worry about that. It's going to look at the suggest panel event listener. Here it is here. And that one is going to have nothing change. It's going to stay the same. Okay. And then we're adding this one. So we're going to grab this, copy that. Let's make sure we're doing this the right way. Yep. Okay. And that's the one that was missing. All right. So I'm saving. Make sure I save all of these. Perfect. Everything's saved. Great. With these changes, the script file should work well with the rest of your application. The code should now handle editing, recording, searching, record searching, and auto-completing. Please let me know if there's any question. All right. Moment of truth. So let's go ahead and take a vote and see how many people think it's going to work. Somebody's going to be like, nope. Nope. I think it will prompt an error. All right, well, let's find out. I have to refresh the screen. Where's my screen? Here it is. Okay, here we go. And we'll see the errors and then we can troubleshoot. Refresh. There's an error. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and take this. Minimize. So we're going to grab this error here. Ah, I know exactly what the error is. I don't even have to do this. Hold on a second. If I'm not mistaken, I'm looking, I'm making sure it's using the right information. No, it is. All the database stuff is there. The connection is there. DB path, there it is there. It's separating it. I don't know why it separates it that way, but okay. Mm-hmm. No, I'm not. I don't think I am, but let's see what it says. So I'm going to grab this error. I'm going to copy this. Okay. I made all the changes and saved. I made all the changes to the files, to all 4 files, and saved it and saved them. I also, okay. And, but, okay. When I ran it, I got an error. I got some errors. The errors are as follows. Bam. So now it takes this information and it will tell me. It seems the error is called by an issue with opening the SQL scan. The error message indicates that the database file cannot be opened. There be a few reasons. The database file does not exist or the file path is incorrect. Make sure that the SQL database file is located at, I'm looking. It is. Yes, it is. Double check the file path and make sure that it's correct. If the file does not exist, you may need to recreate it. Now it does exist. It's here. I'm going to disconnect All right, sorry, I'm reading. Maybe I'm a Python noob, but I don't see a tilde. On what? Hold on a second. Let me see what it's doing here. Because I had to rewrite my code, so I'm trying to make it dissect it instead of me trying to mess with it first. All right, so I know that it exists. I know it's in the right place because it is under Scratch, C Scratch, databases, Midjourney, prompts. Yep, there it is. Okay, so I checked the path. I'm correct. All right, let's see what else. Access permission ensures that the account running the Python script has the necessary permissions to access the specified file. It does. Make sure the folder exists. Yes, that one does exist. Search databases Midjourney. Yes. If not, you can create it manually, programmatically use. Okay. No, I know it exists. This code simply will create the folder. If it does not exist, and join the path. Okay, once you've checked and corrected these points, try to run the application again. If you still contributor, please help. Please, and I'll help you find another. I'm still having the same problem, but let's go ahead and give it. I know everything is there. The only thing I don't like is how this is written. But because normally I would just write it out. So I don't know why this is written this way. You saying at the end of the app run? I don't remember it being there last time. Hold on a second. I will tell you right now. Nope. So in all the other files that I've been running, it hasn't. It's been running fine without it. Okay. What was I saying? Damn it, I forgot. Okay. Mm-hmm. Interesting. I've never seen the path written this way. So okay. All right, cool. All right, so that's fine. So business code will construct the database paths and okay, cool. All right, let me I just wanted to make sure. So I didn't make any changes. I'm gonna go ahead and rerun it and just see, because obviously sometimes things happen. I disconnected the database and reconnected again just to make sure. So we will see now. Let's go ahead and end this. Let's go ahead and start it over. Okay, and now we're gonna go ahead and run it. This is the beauty of testing things out now. Okay, let's go ahead and just rerun that. All right, so we're getting the same error. Okay, still getting the same error after verifying the database exists. The path is correct and the folders exist also. Wait, the folders exist. Access rights are fine. This is the error again. All right, let's try now. Woohoo! This is the fun part. I apologize for the confusion earlier. It seems the issue might be related to the path format. On Windows, you should use double backslash or a single forward slash in your path string. Oh, isn't that what I just asked you? I guess I should have told them I'm running Windows. Did I need to say that? Maybe I did need to say that. I don't know. Oh, wait, did it use a backslash? It didn't use any. What are you talking about? No, it didn't use any. See this right here? There it is right there. How dare you? Oh, man. And actually, it's not a forward slash. It's a backslash, bro. Why is it using a forward slash? That's wrong. We'll try it his way. Okay, we're going to try it their way first. But, yeah. It's not supposed to be. I'm going to do it my way. All right, I'm just going to include it. Let's go. There we go. And what's crazy is that it shouldn't have to add that for any of them unless it's doing it. Hold on. Let's do it his way first. See if it bombs out. And then we'll do it our way. Because it should not have it to do it that way. I know, for example, if I do forward, back, well, no, it goes back, then I can like type my other computer, and then that's going to open it. If I do forward, that's actually HTML. So yeah, that's not right. So I'm going to go ahead and do it my way. Let's do it our way. You guys are right. I'm right. All right, let's do it that way. See what happens. It says that's the issue. I don't think that's the issue. You can't join an OS path that doesn't exist. Yeah, exactly. All right, let's try this. So I went ahead and saved it. We're going to go back and go ahead and run this again. Oh. The hell? Line 7. Ah, look at that. That's wrong. I'm going to do it his way then. It doesn't allow me to do that. Let's try one more time. We'll do it his way. Save. Yes. For some reason, you're supposed to do it the opposite way. I did it the right way, according to when we write, like we do, you know, see like this, and that's supposed to work. But no, it wants it this way. That is bizarre. Okay, well, now that it accepted that, let's go ahead and see if we can run it. Oh my God, this is just insanity. I don't know. Maybe that's supposed to happen. Resend. Still wrong. What's the problem now? Oh, we got a lot of problems now, buddy. Okay, all right, I see. Template not found. Okay, so all right. No, I think I know this one, but I'm gonna let it do its thing. Yay, more errors. Okay, so this one I do know, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna guesstimate. I'm almost positive that has to do with it has to do with all of these right here. Before I even ask him, I'm gonna go ahead and do this, and I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Because I really do think that that's going to solve the issue. So I'm going to save that. And then we're going to go here. And we're going to do Control-C to end it. Excuse me a second. I got to close my door. All right. So now we're going to run it. There it is. Okay. Ready? Let's see if this works. So I fixed the paths. There it is, boys. There it is. Okay. All right, just sit there for a second. That's what it was. It was the pathing thing. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Oh man. Every time I go to move my car, my daughter has her phone Bluetooth to my car, and she's on the phone, and I can hear her friend, and I'm like, "Ew, shut up! Don't talk to me all of." All right, there we go. So it works. Okay, so at least, all right. Well, visually it works. Now we got to test it. So we're gonna go here. So this is basically what I did. So we grabbed all that information, and we're putting it in here. And by the way, the reason I have to edit is because I need to change all the types. I haven't added the types. So one of the types that I did add, it's not here. So it's not showing all my types. If we do this, it should be all of them. And I'm not seeing portrait. I'm only seeing type. And so it's only giving me type. I don't, oh, you know why? Because I re-added it. That's right. I haven't done this yet. Okay, so if I do beautiful, notice it's already changing. Oh, this is so great. The only thing I don't like is that, do you see that little flash there? All right, so if I add a magical, now I don't know what this undefined thing is that keeps coming up, but you see that? So I think it's the results when I'm putting something in. If it doesn't find it, it's going to say undefined. So I need to change that because I'm doing it on completion. So it's narrowing down as I complete it. That's not bad. It's not a bad idea to do it, but I don't like that. So I want to hide the results. Oh, maybe I don't want to do autocomplete. So what I should do is if it doesn't find a match, it should start, yeah, it's so weird. So like yeah, so at some point, once it finds a match, it's going to start adding it. There was one that was toilet paper. Let me see. Yeah, toilet, toe. So there's not a 2. There isn't any. I don't know what the any is, but okay. So then if I do landscape. Okay, so well, it does work. Wait, is that the first one to have landscape on it? Let me see. This one doesn't have landscape. So why is that showing? That shouldn't show. So I've got to check what the filter is doing. Let's try. I did magical or magical. Okay, so for some reason, yeah. So that's not working properly, I should say. Let me see. Cyberpunk, I know, is one that should work. So if I do that, so you know what's happening. I know what's happening. when I press enter, it's filtering. Watch. Is this right? Nope, that's not right. It's not filtering right. The aspect ratio is landscape. Well, no, it's looking, it should be looking specifically for the word landscape. So it's not working 100% yet. The search is not correct. So that's something we need to work on. So we'll have to work on that. So this is the part where I get stuck with it. But for the most part, everything is here. Now, the other thing I need to test is, can I edit it and will it save it? So I'm just going to write, I don't see if it does portrait. No, yeah, it's not doing, something's wrong. It's not actually filtering. Okay, so the search is not working. We'll work on that in a moment. What I want to do is I want to add a type. So for example, this has a photograph and this has a portrait. I want to change the type. Let's see if the edit works. And if it doesn't work, then we know that it didn't completely work. It's just showing us stuff. Here we go. Edit. There it is. Oh, hold on. Type. Portrait. Okay, so I added that. And I'm going to go ahead and save it. Resend. And I'm going to switch this to portrait. Filter. Aha! There it is. Okay, if I'm going to go to cyberpunk, let me try something. Filter. Okay, oh, it's only for portraits. Let me switch type and now do cyberpunk. I see how it's working. I think if this is correct, let's see. Nope, that doesn't work. Okay, so the search thing doesn't work, but the that does work. So let's change this up a second. So I'm going to go all of them for a second again. And I'm going to change. Okay, this is going to be like, I know this is actually a portrait, but I'm going to name it cyberpunk just for fun. So I'm going to edit this. I'm going to call this cyberpunk for now. I'm going to save that. Resend. So notice it goes away because type. But if I did all and filter, it should show me everything. Okay, perfect. So let's say let's change another one just for fun. I'm trying to find something that's like a landscape. Surreal portrait, gothic. Okay, let's do gothic for example. Let's try that as one. So I'm gonna go here and I can only change one of these at a time. I don't know. Stop screaming! Okay, save. All right, now, as I add them, it's adding them up here. That's great. So this is working. Great, so it works. Okay, so we managed to get this done. I think the next part, and this is the part that always breaks for me. The next part is fixing this search right here. I need to be able to search, and it should be. I wonder if it gives me errors. Let me see if there's an error. There is no error that I can't report it. It has to do with the autocomplete though. So can we just take a look at the autocomplete for a second? Select word from terms where word is like question mark order by word. Okay. But why does it, something's wrong here. So this is the part that's wrong. Okay. Let's go to, we'll just see what it says. Error code, errors are gone. But while testing, the search text box and entering I enter a word, it starts listing undefined on the screen several times in a list. Also, the results are not affected by the search. Value. The type drop down list works great but the search text box value plays no role in the results. I'm pressing enter or clicking filter button. The edit, cancel, and save buttons for the records is working great. Okay. So give him that feedback. Let's see what it says. And this is the last step I'm going to take. I'm glad to hear that the errors are gone. Let's address the issues with the search text box. So here it is. To fix the undefined issue, it seems that the data returned by the autocomplete endpoint doesn't have a word property. And this JavaScript, blah, 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 update following line. All right, so we're going to go to the JavaScript. And we're going to look for this. So under something that says suggestions, or we're going to have to add this in the script. Update the following line. So I need to find suggestions. Data map, I found it. So let me just make sure I'm doing the right thing. Let it keep writing because I got to read the rest of it. Yeah, it's right here. So I think this is what we're talking about right there. All right, we're gonna finish this up and then we're gonna talk. I'm gonna talk about SCUM quickly. I want to show you some what it is that I was talking about when I see all these recent developments. It makes me wonder how they're doing the development now. Change this to this. So that is being changed from that to this. Let's go ahead and do this. All right, we're gonna copy this one. And we're gonna change this one. All right, and hit save on that. And then it also says to ensure the search box value affects the results, you need to update the name attribute of the search input element in the index HTML file. All right, so in the HTML file, currently it has a name search, but it should be details to match the request.form, updates a search. All right, so here we go. So this is, got to look for this. Update the search input elements in HTML. Okay, input. Where is my input? Here it is. Okay, class form control. The name is details. So both, the name is details, the ID is search. Okay, so let's name this details. The ID is search. And I just got to look at the rest of this thing. No, that's it. Okay, let's look at the rest of this. Make sure that that stays the same. ID value equals, okay, curly, curly. Selected details and done. All right, let's save that. Awesome. Did you get the slash thing to work? I did. So what's interesting, Loco, is that the path, which you and I and everyone else here that works with Windows knows that it's usually C:\\, not / when you're putting in a path, right? But for whatever reason, in this code for Python, when you're using the this join here for the path, it's actually forward. It's like bink. That's crazy. And it works. When I did it the other way, errored out. It said, nope, that's not the way to do it. So I said, okay, I'll do it your way. What's up, Fat Cat? What am I building? By the way, good morning, Local. Good to see you. What am I building? I'll show you because I just finished fixing it, I think. All right, so let me go to, where is it? Command. Let's go ahead and turn this off. Let's go ahead and start it again. And then let's go to the interface, refresh, resend. Okay. Basically, it's a prompt database that I was working off of files. You'll have to see this from the beginning to understand what we're doing. But I had to fix the filter. So I'm going to do now. Oh my God, it is. Is it working? Is it? Let's see. Nope, it's not working. Not yet. Hold on. Now it's working. Okay. So it doesn't do it until I press enter. Let's try that again. So I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to filter for all. It should bring it back. I'm going to write magical this time. Okay, magical. And I'm going to press enter. And it does filter. Okay, so whether I press filter or press enter, it works now. And this is exactly what I wanted. Now, I think I'm going to add, I'm not going to do this now, but I think I'm going to add the possibility of doing comma and other words so that I can find specific ones. And the next step I'm going to do, which I'm not going to do this now, but the next step I'm going to do is absolutely make it so that it has an extra field column that I can put the generic prompt, which is what it starts out with, and then put the enhanced prompt that it was changed to. Maybe we'll see. Either that or I'll put all the I'll actually put all the old prompts that we changed into another table. But that's down the road. That way I'll always keep the generic one and I'm just going to put the enhanced one. Who knows? Or we'll just create an enhanced one. But I'd love to do comma and then add some other entries here so they can work with whatever I put in. Look at that. So it's gonna keep doing it. Now, can I make this bigger? Oh yeah, I can actually. Awesome. Look, you guys can read it now. So I can actually do, I don't know, let's say if we do clown. Is there any clowns? Yeah, I got some clown ones here too. Okay, I got to change the types. If I do, now here's the combination. If I do portrait and then I filter. Okay, now if I do portrait and type, no, if I do portrait and portrait, it gives me that because it's in both places. If I do portrait and cyberpunk, it doesn't have any. If I do portrait and type, it gives me those because I haven't changed the type yet. If I do portrait and gothic, it doesn't have any. If I do just gothic, it gives me that one. Sorry, man. This is like, I couldn't make a bigger text on the other ones. I had my iPad up to my face to read it. Nice. Okay, so it does work. This is great. So I can put on any word that exists in here and it will give me, though it would narrow the list down. Futuristic. Press enter. There they are. Yeah, I need to put extra searches like futuristic, cyberpunk, futuristic, skyline, things like that. Obviously, these prompts are going to change. These are all generic prompts right now. And by the way, something that you probably don't see happening in the background is here at the behind me. Every time I do something, so if I'm typing, it's the get is actually seeing it. Press enter and it actually runs the code, refreshes everything. So everything is working the way it's supposed to be based on what I asked. So let's summarize this. And I'm going to talk about SCUM really quick before I have to go to, well, I'm taking my wife to get a new phone today. So we're going to go out to lunch and do that. And then I'm going to be back and do maybe some Cyberpunk. I've actually installed it yesterday. It looks beautiful for some reason. I don't know why. So let's talk about this real quick. I wish there was a way of closing this side panel here, but there's not. So you have to deal with it. So the idea that ChatGPT does really create something for you. I mean, code-wise, as long as you start like from the very beginning with it. And like I did, like I know ChatGPT-4 did not, I mean, it did, listen, I'm not going to badmouth it because it actually did work. I'm trying to go all the way front. So when I first started with ChatGPT-5, can I just scroll up with here? Yeah, perfect. Okay. So we did the same thing here for ChatGPT 3.5 yesterday. I did this on my own. And it was telling me, you know, I'm going to need a framework. And this is what's great. It even told me, hey, you need to install this. If you're going to do it in Python, you need this. And then it tells me, okay, you're going to use this code. Then it tells me about the HTML. Then it told me, okay, oh, you got to check why this isn't working. There's an internal error. So it really did work to a certain extent. What I didn't like was that it wasn't keeping track of all the different files that we were working with. And so that's where it made it kind of difficult because it would add things in one that wasn't necessarily in the other one. So I had to be more specific. So it was kind of a pain in the ass. And like I said, I got to 80 or 90% of it, couldn't get the searches to work. Every time we fixed one search, the type wouldn't work or the filter wouldn't work or the edit and cancel didn't work. And it was just breaking. So that's when I gave up. And I was up for, I don't know, till 3 a.m. troubleshooting because I'm like, this is stupid. So this morning, I took the existing code that we already had and I decided, you know what, we're going to start from scratch. And what's great is that we just kind of trained it as we went. It's like having a conversation with a computer programmer and telling them, hey man, I want to build a table and I want to build this other table. And he's like, oh, you're building a web interface. No problem. You know, kind of decide which one you want to use, which programming language, and I can help you with that. I'm like, sure, no problem. Let's build the other table first. And then I said, okay, here's the thing. I've got 4 files already. These are the files. I want to give them to you so you can review them. I'm going to give them to you one by one. That way you can get up to speed on the program. The project. That is exactly how you work with a developer. You're like, hey, I've got this project I've been working on. Let me give you the files so you can review them. And then we can talk about it and get you up to speed. And then we can move on from there, grow from there. That's exactly what I did. And I started giving it the files. We gave it the regular Python file and it looked at it and it said, this is what I see. It looks good. There's a couple of suggestions. And then it says, this is what I suggest. And it gave me code. And in the end, this is the part that I loved about ChatGPT-4, that it says, once you provided the other 3 files and it names the 3 files that I mentioned earlier, and it tells you which ones it's still waiting for. It remembered. And then I gave it the next one. This is the second file and I named the file and I give that same thing, same process keeps going. Again, told me, hey, great. Now, when you send me the other 2 files and it says the names of the files again. So it kept remembering, which I think is a huge deal when it comes to this stuff, because you don't want to have to keep explaining the same stuff over and over. In the end, finally, when I gave it all the actual different files and it updated all of them and I ran the code, I can then give it the errors and say, hey, dude, this is happening. What do I do? And it says, no problem. Well, based on that, this is what you need to do. Check your path. We did that. The path was fine. But then for some reason, I'm noticing that it was written differently. So I said, hey, man, is this syntax correct? And it says, yeah, that syntax is correct. I'm like, all right, let me run it again. Still got the same thing. And then he says, oh, sorry, man, I apologize. You know what? The path needs to be like this for Windows. And that's what it told us. And it resolved the issue. I was like, holy crap. Now, second thing was, when we got an error after testing it, we went ahead and actually went through and told it, everything's working fine except for these things, and literally told them everything that was working and the things that were not working. Sure enough, went through, gave us a suggestion what to fix the issue, and that's it. It fixed it. Everything was great. So at this point, I'm going to say to it, everything is working as it should. Good job. Oh, wait, that should be separate. Good job. And then I'll say there are a couple of other features I want to add later. Please remember what we did so far. We will continue later. Okay, I'm just saying, you know, I'm just being like if I was talking to somebody, and I was going to go ahead and send that and see what it says. It probably says, yeah, cool, whatever, no problem, man. I got other things to do. And it says, I'm glad to hear that everything is working as expected. I'll remember the changes we made so far. Please feel free to reach out whenever you want to continue working on the project or need assistance with any other topic. Have a great day. Freaking customer service, damn it. I'm getting better customer service from freaking AI than I get from Comcast with their dumb AI. Tell you, it's sending you an invoice. I know. Please tell me how much this would have cost. You know, it's funny. Just curious. I'll say just curious. How much? It's going to say it doesn't know. Do you think this project would have cost me to do with a real, with hiring a programmer? I'm curious. Now let's see what it says. It's difficult to provide an exact cost for your project as it depends on various factors such as the experience level of the programmer, the hourly rate, and the time it took to complete. However, I can provide a rough estimate based on the common rates. Assuming you're hired a freelance programmer with an average experience level, the hourly rate could range from $40 to $100 per hour. Depending on your location and the programmer's experience, from our discussion, it seems that the project would take 6 to 8 hours to complete, including the creation of the database tables, web interface, and debugging. Use these numbers. The cost project range would be $240 to $800, 6 to 8 hours. Multiply that by hourly rate 40 to 100. Keep in mind that this is just a rough estimate, blah, 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 blah. That's great. It just gives me kind of a rough estimate. That's not a bad deal, man, right there. So I'm going to tell you the side step. If by chance this is a type of database web app that you can provide. I mean, obviously this one's locally. There'll have to be like a security measure to put into this, you know, maybe a login screen, things like that. But if you think about it, this as a core, if you wanted to do this for someone else and you didn't know what you would charge, there's a price standpoint right there. There's something to start off with. That's pretty cool. All right. Let's get into the last conversation now that you guys see this. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to do a little bit more of this stuff only because I'm enjoying it. And honestly, guys, if I don't do it on stream, I'm going to be doing it off stream, and that's just going to delay my stream. So I'd rather do this and maybe have conversations as we're on. I know today was highly focused on this, but I have no problem having any conversation about anything else that's going on while I'm doing something. So it's cool. All right, so let's bring this down for a second. I'm gonna bring up my Twitter feed, and if you guys have something specifically you want to share, you want to talk about before I go, please bring it up in chat. That'll be great. I'm gonna go ahead and bring us over to chat here, and I'm gonna find Tommy because I've been kind of absent from SCUM, the game. And I've actually been, you know, kind of not really paying attention to anything that's going on, like changes, developing. I mean, I've seen some things here and there because I see some YouTubes, but for the most part, oopsie, sorry. For the most part, I've actually just not really paid too much attention. But I did notice something. So I want you to just stay with me on this for a second, and please excuse any crazy stuff that comes out. This is Tommy Slav's actual Twitter. He's the co-founder and creative director of Gamepires. Now, one thing we all know, if you played SCUM at any time, you know who Tommy is. He's the one that always puts the updates out as far as what's coming up, puts the sneak previews, puts a couple of videos, or maybe sometimes just images of things that are up and coming, or that we're working on, or just to ensure us that they actually are working. And over the past couple of years, that's how it's been. Now, one of the things that I've noticed is that it's never been, it's been like a couple of things here and there, unless they had a big release coming and then it was like, you know, they showed us the majority of it. And so, or it was like concept art and this is the idea that we're thinking. But for some reason, I find it coincidental. It's a big coincidence that in the past couple of months, probably starting since March, who knows, the beginning of March, I've noticed that they have ramped up their development. Like it has started coming out a lot faster. Like they're showing us a lot of things that they're developing. And you wonder what has changed. Now, we do know that they got bought out by a bigger company, so there is more money in it. I get it. But it's the same people, unless they are working with their other developers, the people from the big company. I can't remember the name of the company. Jagex, I think it is. So yeah, so they are getting some help and some direction, which is great. But I'm wondering if they're using any type of AI to increase their productivity. And I'll tell you why, because look at this. I'm going to show you, I'm just going to go through. First of all, they've already talked about the bunkers, the abandoned bunkers coming up, which I think is freaking awesome. I can't wait to see that. That's probably not going to happen for a while. It's going to be back in version 9. Let's scroll down a little bit more. So these are the things that I'm going to start scrolling. You're going to see how many things have come out since just in the month, in this past month. So they have cooking books now that you have to find. And when you find these, you learn the recipe. One, I think that's awesome. I think searching for the recipes and searching to be able to cook, I think is great. This is a really good introduction into the game. I love that they're books. I love that I'm going to find these and somehow or another, you're going to learn the recipes by actually picking them up. I think that's great. The development is probably speeding up using Jagex devs or artists. That's definitely true. I believe that's, I don't want to say it's AI, but it's just so coincidence. A lot of leaks pertain to assets, props, and material designs, which Jagex has a lot of those. Those Jagex devs, however, probably using some AI in their workflow, however. I'm pretty sure they are, and that's what I'm saying, is that they're learning how to use the tools that are available to get this done quicker. No fault. There's nothing wrong with that, because as you can tell, I just finished doing a database interface that I needed for myself by using freaking ChatGPT, which, by the way, it took longer doing it because I'm explaining and reading through it. But if I were to do this on my own, it would have been done in like 30 minutes. So it's crazy. All right, an hour. There's a lasagna. They have lasagna now, which I thought was delicious, and it made me want to make lasagna last night, which I did. It's in my Discord. Check it out. I don't know why. Oh, this is the baked lasagna. Look at that. Oh my God, I'm hungry again now. I'm gonna go eat lasagna. Okay, so we scroll down. There's a new cooking service, Ready, Set, Cook. That's pretty good. Now they also have the mechs. They've actually introduced or are introducing the new mechs. I have not seen because I haven't played the game in a bit, so I'm not sure if it's there or not, but it is coming if it's not there already. The new mech style is pretty scary looking, so that's cool. Crazy. Okay, so that's the mech. So want to lose weight, broccoli and grilled chicken fillets is the way to go. So they've changed the way that the food looks when it's cooked and actually when it looks when it's raw, which is pretty good. That is a chicken breast, man. It looks just like a chicken breast. Really good. Let's see what else. They have the sometimes small things take additional time, like adjusting the size and height of grills to fit. Okay, so they started working on kind of the dimensions of everything to make sure that it kind of fits with the idea. It's not too low, not too high, not too big. So that's pretty cool. They've been doing that. Let's see what else they have. Now, I'm not a big fan of this motorcycle, but then they also have this new update to the motorcycle armor for the cruiser. Not in my book. Not interested in that. There's signs of really dead corpses of animal corpses dead somewhere, just rotting out. This is a new graphic. So as you can tell, they are improving. They've definitely been improving and putting stuff out quickly. So I gotta say, man, I mean, this is not March 30th. This is just the past couple of days. I really hope the cooking rework includes recipes like how they did the recipes in Winter Survival. In that game, you find recipes as loot and learn them that way. Yes, that's what I'm hoping is this situation. By the way, I did download that game. I should try it. The animal corpse is probably a wild hunter hint. Ah, yes. Okay, so let's move on. So what else? So they actually have, I don't want to click too close on this because even though they look like Ken dolls, they don't have the parts. It's still kind of weird. But they have the new models for the guys coming in version 9. Everything from extreme on both sides. So that's going to be interesting. I'll probably be on this extreme here, like the really skinny guy. Who knows? As you can tell, there's also the fish, I believe. This is a grilled fish. Does look like fish. Nice meaty fish there. Probably a mahi-mahi. And cooked, it looks even better. So it looks really good. They have some soup. I hope it's not a one huge thing of soup that you drink all at once. So that is great. And they have these little soup bowls that are made out of wood, which I thought was a cool little feature too. Did a good job there. Let's see what else they got. All right, this is the hairy butt. Okay, we don't need to look at that, but those are the male models right there. Work in progress. Looks good. Okay. When tired, relax and drink some coffee. This is pretty good, except realistically, you know how hot this handle is going to be. So make sure you're using gloves when you use this. I kind of like the idea that we can make coffee though. Other things soon to be added, but have kept a secret for now. So they're adding shoes and belts and suits. I don't know why. I guess the girls want to look like girls when they run around, but really this is not functional when you're out in survival. I missed something. I've been watching a game developer streamer who does a lot of portfolio reviews, and I've been seeing a lot of AI integrated into their portfolio work. It is a tool, man. I'm telling you, a lot of them are doing it. The thing is that there is no programmer that has used AI or tested it out and said, "Oh yeah, I don't want it. I don't want to work faster." I mean, seriously, if you're more productive and can get done stuff quicker and still get paid and get more pay, why wouldn't you do it? So yeah, it's a great tool to have. I think for artists as well as developers, programmers. I think for both. I think for anything, it just makes. We'll get on that conversation and topic at another time, but it really does help a lot. And I like to get some real examples, and then we'll go through those. Let's see. In recent dev updates, they mentioned AI work, and the wild hunters were supposed to be the next AI creatures coming to the game. So I don't know. We talked about this, the finger sandwiches. That's what it looks like, but it's basically just sausage links inside of a pita. Here's another one. This is the soup. Now, if you remember, I kind of made fun of this because I was like, guys, you could use AI for this and just have Midjourney generate something. Where was it? Like I had Midjourney. Well, that's Brink's mean apple pie. But yeah, like something along this line, they could have used that. Which one's better? Which one would you want to eat? I'm just saying. So there's that. Let's see what else. Then they have some movement concepts there. And we're now March 14th. There's still some couple of stances that they're working out. And oh, look at this. Chicken drumsticks with potatoes. Now that potato looks rotten, but otherwise looks really good. But so you notice there's a lot more assets that are coming out quicker and a lot more introductions into the game. Here's a suggestion for breakfast. There's an egg. That's really well done. Oh, that's a little burnt, but yes, I still like it. I will take the first one. Maybe the second. Let's see what else. March 10th. I think this is stuff we've already seen. This is stuff they were working on before. This is what we're used to seeing from them. I don't know what that is. That's a commercial. Here's some more food. They really have been working on the food. I got to be honest. Look at that. Raw, grilled, burnt. Love it. I'll eat the burnt one. I don't care. There's some more corpses. Now, these corpses definitely don't look as good as or detailed as the recent ones we just saw, but this is how they started. This is back in March 9th. Here's the hamburger. Now, hamburger looks good, but the other food's starting to look better. And that's it. And then we get back to what we already know. So as you can tell, they definitely have been pushing out more content. They're ready. They are ready to get it to the point where the game is going to lure people back in. And that's a good thing. Let me tell you something. If they fix cooking and it is actually workable and playable and enjoyable, I'm in. I will be back in. Because I really do like cooking in the game. I want to go hunting. I want to make my own food. The farming was kind of a letdown because I don't know if I really like the way the farming works. But regardless, it's there. I would love to just do that in the game. Be my own little personal Stardew Valley in SCUM. We'll see. With Midjourney and the like being able to make seamless tiling, it's huge for material design. It is. We definitely have to have a conversation about all that and look at all the benefits that people get by actually using it. Now, one last thing I want to say before I go is, first of all, by the way, thanks for hanging out with me during this AI development stuff. I know some of you don't like it, but some of you like stuck in there with me, so I really appreciate that. So here's the one thing that I don't like, and I know I'm probably gonna get flamed for this, but from some, but not from all. I don't like when there is a good product that the money is worth it, and then there are people out there trying to cheat the system to use it and abuse it for free, and in doing so hindering the ability of that product from being able to work for us, the paying customers. And that annoys the hell out of me. And I've seen several YouTube videos from guys that are like saying, hey, this is the way you can cheat Midjourney and get free trials over and over and unlimited access without ever paying for it. And then they're showing people how to do this. And it just disgusts me that we have people in the world that will even comment as, this is awesome, thanks so much, you are the best, this is the best content ever, because they're getting cheats to get something for free. So it's terrible. So thankfully, Midjourney actually turned off all trial subscriptions. Sucks for the people that actually wanted to try, that wanted to try before they paid for it, which is, unfortunate. But the bottom line is that that's terrible for people to abuse that. I think it's disgusting. And it annoys the crap out of me when I see those videos of people showing how to get past a product that you should be paying for, because listen, by paying for it, it is a good product, and you pay for it to support it so that more products come out and it continues to evolve. It's just is what it is. Now, if you want to try it out for free, great. There was a free version and you can try it for free. And if you like it, then use it. That's what I did. And then when I was ready to buy it, I did buy it. But I hate that people are putting that kind of content out there. And like I said, thank goodness Midjourney actually did turn off trials, because there were 3 days in a row. And this happened for a while. I think it was like for over a week. But 3 days in a row that at night, I would try to do what I consider my work in my paid subscription of Midjourney. And every time I would try to render, there was an error. There was either an error, or there was the system was down, or it was slow and they had to take it off. And it was because it was being abused by so many people. I mean, like a vast amount of people that were abusing the free trial versions. And so that basically messed it up for the rest of us. And so I would have to be like, forget it, I can't do work tonight. I'm just gonna go. I'll do it tomorrow. Same thing the next day. And it was very frustrating, because like, why did I pay for this if I'm not going to be able to use it? So here's what I have to say. I don't want to say if you like me. I'm just going to say, if you are a decent human being, or at least try to be, and you are some type of a role model to someone in your family, whether it's a child, a brother, a cousin, and even a parent, because sometimes we can be role models to our own parents. If you try to set an example for somebody else, please avoid following those things that try to cheat someone else or a business from its properly earned money. Unless it's someone that is completely trying to scam you out of money and it's a business that you know is corrupt, just don't be a part of it. Why use it for free? Just don't use it at all. You know what I'm saying. Don't be a supporter of that stuff, and don't be a supporter of those videos that put out those cheats to make you, get past a certain paywall or get past a certain subscription price just to get stuff for free. That's not cool. I'm just saying. I know we all joke about it sometimes, but it really does suck. And by the way, if you do, and I'm saying this, if you do figure out something on your own that you want to take advantage or exploit, I'm not telling you not to do it. If you want to do it, that's up to you. Just don't share that with the masses. I'll be like, hey guys, check this out. This is the way we can screw this company, because it hurts, you know, people in the end. What if people started like, how do I sub for free? This is how you can sub to a streamer without paying any money and have all the subscription benefits. What if you did that? You would screw a Twitch streamer from them being able to make a livelihood. I'm not saying that happens, but I'm just saying that's a good example. So it is what it is. I hope that doesn't blow anybody out of the water and be like, oh, I don't want to talk to you anymore. It's just an observation. All right, guys, I'm going to take off. I'm going to take my wife to lunch. We're going to go get her a new phone because she still has the 8 and her battery's dying all the time. So I said, all right, I'll replace it. Gee, stop crying already. Just because I have an 11. I told her to take mine. I'll buy a new one. She didn't go for that one. So I will be back later. We'll probably play some Cyberpunk. I'm really excited to see what it looks like. I kind of sneak peeked it and it looked good. But I hope you have a great afternoon. Whatever you do something that makes you happy. As long as what? It doesn't hurt anybody else or yourself. It's all good. So until next time, I'm out. Peace.